I'm Brian McDermott, Community Chef, and this time in this recipe I'm going to show you how to butcher your own chicken and turn it into what I call my favourite chicken casserole. Now in this video recipe I want to show you how to butcher the chicken properly, and don't be afraid of it, have a little bit of confidence. The value of being able to do it yourself is you're retaining all that moisture, the vitamins and the flavour, and equally your local butcher will do this for you. But it's a lovely skill to get up close and personal with the chicken. Separate the leg away from the actual joint of meat, make that first incision in through there, and I'm going to crack that, just break it away, and one final cut just through there. Remove that and repeat it on the other side, same thing again. And now I'm going to remove our breast, so it's down the breastbone, either side of it, taking off that complete breast with the bone in, leaving your carcass in the middle. And now I'm going to disjoint just the thigh away from the drumstick with one good cut through the centre of it, and just pull the skin of the drumstick down over it and tuck away the skin of your thigh and place our wings, and there we go. There's our completely butchered broken chicken, only taking a couple of minutes, and you're up and close and personal with your local chicken from your local butcher. Okay, so you can keep your carcass of chicken for your stock. Just get that into a pot of boiling water, some vegetables, cook that up for about 2–2.5 hours, and you're going to have fantastic fresh chicken stock like what we have here. I'm only going to cut our breast into half, both breasts. And what I've done is I put our pan on here dry, just to heat it up dry, get a good retention of heat in there. And we're going to pan fry these pieces of chicken. But what I want to do is I want to dust them in a little bit of flour. That will do a couple of things. It'll crisp up the skin. The skin will protect the chicken. It'll seal it quicker, and it'll allow a slight thickening of our stew or our casserole as well. And again, if you're celiac, don't be afraid just to replace that flour with some potato flour, and it'll work exceptionally well. So I'm only going to do half this chicken, and that's the other advantage. You can freeze that half once you've bought the whole chicken from the butcher. So we're going to drop in some rapeseed oil, so about 2 tablespoons in this case. Nice high heat on there, and I'm going to place skin side down of our chicken. And I want that nice sizzling sound going on. I want the skin to crisp up in this. Okay, we'll put a little bit of wing in there as well for a little bit of extra flavour. So while that's crisping up and skinning, we're going to put our casserole dish. That can be an earthenware dish, or it can be a nice tin like this, into the oven just to heat that up so that you're transferring hot food to a hot tray. So I'm going to wrap up our chicken for another day, wash down after using our raw meat, and get ready to prepare our vegetables for our lovely casserole. So after a minute or two, it should have a lovely crispness and a lovely golden colour to our skin. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely brilliant. That's what I'm after. That's going to protect that chicken that's underneath. And if you're not a fan of skin, we can easily remove that at the end of the cooking. And a good tip when adding pieces of meat to a pan is to consider the clock and add a 12 o'clock, quarter past, half past, and a quarter to, so that you're turning in the same rotation. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to season that now because my skin is crisped up. I'm going to add to that some ground black pepper. And I'm going to take some thyme, some fresh sprigs of thyme. And again, just to pull them away with your finger and your thumb. Drop them in. You don't want the woody texture in there. You only want the lovely aroma coming from the light leaves of the thyme. And thyme and chicken's excellent. Absolutely excellent. So there we go. Now, our hot tray from the oven, and I want to transfer that over to continue the cooking in the oven. And leave plenty of room, have a big tray. It could be your favourite. Everyone's got their own favourite casserole dish. So our oven's on at about 170 on this occasion. We're going to transfer those over just to let them cook out for about 10–15 minutes while I develop the sauce and the casserole for it. Now, again, look at what we have here. We've got beautiful flavour coming from that chicken, and quite quickly in there I want to add in my onion, some diced chopped onion. I'm going to add in about 2 cloves of garlic on this occasion. It's lovely to have garlic, particularly when you're using a tomato based sauce, which I am. And I'm going to take some mushrooms. Now I'm not going to slice the mushrooms, I'm going to keep them, half them, and I'm going to cut them into a third each, keeping a nice big chunk of the mushroom in there. And I'm going to do that with roughly about 3-4 mushrooms. Toss that there's a nice bit of colour coming into the pan. So I'm going to half and a third of a mushroom. And these are just our flat cap white mushroom. You can use a chestnut mushroom, which will have far more flavour for you. There we go, that's excellent. And now for a lovely bit of heartiness and balance, I'm going to add into that a chopped carrot. So I've just peeled my carrots, I'm going to top and I'm going to tail them. And that's what's great about just chopping your vegetables so fresh, is you retain all the vitamins and all the flavours that come with it. So I'm going to half it and I'm going to cut it into a third, keeping lovely, nice, fine bits of carrot that are going to cook at the same time in the sauce. So it's a nice fine dice. And straight in. You'll see that our pan's now starting to absorb in all of the liquid that was there. So it's 1 large or 2 small carrots is perfect for half your chicken. And a little bit more seasoning than that now, just a little bit more black pepper. Excellent. Now, what I'm going to add to that is I'm going to add 2 types of tomato. I'm going to add in some tomato puree, which gives a lovely depth of both flavour and of colour. And I'm going to add in some fresh chopped tomatoes. Now I do prefer to use the tinned tomatoes. They're very consistent, fresh tomatoes. We can't grow them all year round in Ireland, so use a tin or a jarred tomato. They're absolutely perfect, and just make sure there's nothing added to them. 100% natural. So that's why I'm using both. One for freshness and one to give a good punch of depth, of colour and of flavour. Just before I add that, I'm going to talk about wine. I'm using some red wine here, and when you're using red wine in cooking, you want to let it reduce slightly. Now listen to the noise going on in that pan. Once I get this wine in, it's going to do what we call deglazing. There's a good glass of wine in there, red wine, a good rich flavour. Just let that reduce down slightly. While that's happening, we can still go ahead with our tablespoon of our tomato puree. We're going to work that in. And then our 400 grams of our chopped tomatoes. And already there's a lovely rich smell coming from the wine and the tomato together. It's a lovely marriage that when both of those are together. So when that wine slightly reduces, we're going to take our chicken stock that you can make from your carcass. You can freeze it afterwards or make a convenient stock cube into a lovely fresh light stock. And always remember, a stock is only assisting the background flavour. To me here, the key flavour is going to be number 1, our chicken, which we've roasted and created a caramelised colour on the pan. Secondly, the depth that's going to come from the tomato and the wine. We're putting all that together now in a minute or two into the oven. It's going to create a fantastic casserole. So there's our stock, lovely and light, plentiful. Just let that cook up for a few minutes. And now in the meantime, I'm going to go and I'm going to get my chicken out, and I'm going to add the base or the sauce of this to the chicken and put both back into the oven. So there we have our chicken that's been in only for a few minutes at this stage. I'm going to place it on our board because I want that sauce to go to the bottom, and that's to keep our skin lovely and crisp on top to protect that chicken. So now your casserole sauce can go to the bottom of your pan, like so. And we're going to add our chicken pieces back in on top. And get the wing in there as well, it's going to add a lovely flavour. Now that's perfect for everyday cooking, because that can now either go to your slow cooker or it can go into a proper casserole dish. It can go into an open dish like this and back into your oven. You can cook that over the next 3 or 4 hours, or you can cook it over the next half an hour. Slow and low is a lovely fashionable way of cooking at the moment. It'll help tenderise the chicken, it'll help thicken the sauce, and it'll cook those carrots through. So that's it, ready for the oven until you're ready to eat that as your perfect favourite casserole. So once you're ready to serve up your casserole, we're going to heat up our plate. Take our casserole from the oven. And there we are. Look at the richness that has transferred into now. So I'm going to rest our lovely pieces of chicken just on the board for a few moments. Let them contract and let them relax. There we go. And now you have this beautiful, look at that, this beautiful rich sauce full of what I would call energy and full of energy food. The carrots that's in there, the onions, the mushroom, the fantastic tomato, the richness of the wine, it's all there. And now if you're not a fan of the skin, very simply, using a spoon, you can just remove your skin. What's left behind there is a fantastic tender piece of chicken. And to me, the thigh, the likes of the wing, the likes of the drumstick are where you're going to get the best flavour from. So skin on or skin off, entirely up to yourself. And we're going to serve a little bit of our thigh along with a fantastic piece of our breast. And just to show you that, once it's cut, look at that, look at how tender that is. It's absolutely superb. So we'll serve a couple of slices of that. And it's a great, casseroles to me should be a whole family affair. You can just pop down in the middle of the table the entire casserole dish and eat that together, and you get great efficiency out of a dish like this. So we're going to drizzle our sauce, which is lovely and rich, around that. Get some of the vegetables in there, and there you have your dish, which has all the flavour, the sauce, the vegetables in there. We're going to finish it off with a little bit of parsley, either chopped or simply just sprinkled onto the top of that as a lovely whole piece. And to me, that is without a shadow of a doubt my favourite chicken casserole, with a lovely crispy skin on, the lovely tender chicken from your local butcher, a really rich tomato and red wine and vegetable sauce. It's a one pot wonder, it's a casserole, it's yours to be enjoyed.